Well, in just about a couple weeks or so, a very confusing time begins to start for a lot of people, and that is your time of the year where you can choose all the plethora of choices when it comes to your Medicare options. And we have a couple folks here today that can wade through that with you, figure out what fits you best. Susan and Richard White, good to see you again.
Good to see you again. Thanks for having us.
Today we're going to talk about, and this is a confusing part of it, very confusing, a prescription drug plan and whether or not you take what I would consider straight Medicare, meaning not an Advantage program, or you are an Advantage program, and you are someone who currently takes 2 or 3 different prescriptions, maybe more, you got to find out how are these covered, right?
Well, basically, Medicare, some people question the drug plan. Medicare wants everyone to have a prescription drug plan, period.
Yeah, now,
once,
as we discussed in the last time we were on, Medicare came about in 1955, 56.
Yes.
But there was no prescription drug. People were, I don't want to say at the mercy, but they were at the mercy of buying the drugs, you know, at the pharmacy, trying to use coupons and stuff. And it was in 2006 that the mandatory drug plan came in with the Medicare, so that not only do you have hospital and doctors, now you can get prescription drugs.
Wow. I didn't realize it wasn't that long ago. I thought it was, I knew it didn't start with it, but I thought it was like 30 years old or something.
No, 2006, 11 years ago.
And you know, some people don't think that you need to take one. The government will actually penalize you.
Yes, they will.
They base it on the annual premium, the monthly premium. Average is $31 a month.
Yeah.
So 1% of that, 31 cents. You don't take that for 6 years, you get a $20 plus penalty every month, off the top of the chart.
On top
if you
of the
don't,
31.
You don't take it. I mean, people think I'm not taking drugs right now. Well, how do you know what you're going to be taking in 5 years?
Right.
The what if is why you
right.
Have
and let's face it, part of the reason is if you're not taking drugs, like in general, you're paying into a pool that you eventually pull from.
Eventually, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of these things, the agent that you're working with or the broker should be explaining this to you, but we have found out, visiting people in their homes, they knew nothing about the prescription drugs. So that's why we're here, to help them, and that's what we do.
And as I said, one of the confusing thing is, obviously if you go through, again, what I call straight Medicare, you know, going through without, it's Part D.
Yeah,
very
good.
When you go through the Advantage plans, there are so many different Advantage plans, and a lot of them are really good, but the formularies that they use, and that basically is what drugs are being offered on your plan where you pay little or no money out of pocket, that sort of thing. You've got to find out if they're not only on it, but if they are still on it, right? Because they can change.
True.
Well, right now, this time of year, starting in October is the open enrollment period.
Right.
October 7th to December 14th.
Yeah.
You know, you can.
went
wait,
vice
I'm
versa.
backwards. October 15th to December 7th. I'm always losing my mind. But there's 20 standalone drug plans right here in Orange County that we have to monitor for clients.
Wow.
Then you have your Medicare Advantage, and it's all embedded in there, so that's even extra. And what happens is the formularies change every October.
Right,
so you have to know which way you're going.
Yeah, and you kind of gave an example of that, like diabetic drugs and things like that.
Yeah, there are drugs. Some of them are called, let's say, diabetic drug Januvia. On one plan, it could be $35. On another, it could be $47. On another one, it could be $100.
Shouldn't they just all get together and have?
Well, they can't, because each insurance company negotiates their own pharmaceutical costs. Things that are expensive are eye drops.
Really?
Inhalers.
Wow.
Any kind of narcotics that you have. I mean, any painkillers that are narcotics, they're really, really monitored with the Medicare. Some of them some companies obviously will have quantity limits. So they have to get only so many per month. There's prior authorizations that need to be done from the doctor's offices.
Richard,
as, you know,
I'm sorry.
that's okay.
What I wanted to ask you is, where do you begin with someone? Because their medical needs can
Right.
be vast or,
Right.
or very little. The drugs they take, maybe there's somebody that's anticipating a lengthy stay in the hospital. They know they have something
Right.
coming up next year.
Right.
Where do you begin?
Well, we kind of back into it a little bit, understanding what their needs are,
Yeah.
what medications are you on, and then we go onto the site and we can download all that with all the companies, what they pay. We can say, hey, XYZ insurance would cost you. We've seen them vary by maybe $200-300 a month.
Right.
So that's why we do the research, and that's why at this time of the year, we want to make sure that they review back to us,
Yeah.
did they have any changes?
Right.
Are they off certain medications? Have they increased the milligrams? Are they on something new? We need to know, because now's the time to change.
Yeah, and how do you determine, Susan, if maybe it's right for them to, let's say they're new to this.
Right.
Yes.
Do you go with an Advantage plan? Or maybe at this point in time, you don't. You just go with Medicare in general.
You have to
Because
feel
sometimes
out-
it might be better for them
You
to
have
go
to
that
feel out
way.
what they
Yeah,
want, what's important for them, if they
Yeah.
have any special needs. A lot of it is financial,
right.
Yeah.
because MedSups and the drug plans, they have premiums,
Yes.
and it goes by your age and zip code. On the
Yeah.
Medicare Advantage, if you're in Orange County, then you get an Orange County plan, and usually the premiums are zero, but you still have to base it on the health groups that you want and the prescription medication. That's
Right.
really one of the most important. So we ask everyone that we see, what medications are you on? I'm not on any. Good, then you have more options. But if,
Right.
if
Right.
you're on 5, 6, 7, 10 prescription drugs, someone needs to monitor this. And one of our call to actions with our current clients is get those updated lists
Yeah.
to us. And for somebody new, we still need that
Yeah.
basically to get started.
Yeah, so what we do is we email them, and probably about 5% of the seniors aren't email friendly, so we'll do
Yeah.
individual letters to those.
Okay.
Because this is too important. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's very
they
important.
Could,
Yes.
They could, we've had people come out and say, thank you, you saved us $150 a month.
Yeah.
It's the same medication, but it's just, monitored through a different insurance company. So-
And of course, you're dealing with people who live in this area.
Yes.
Right.
But as you know, my in-laws live out in Marietta. It's totally different.
Yes.
It shouldn't
Yes, it
be.
is.
Let's face it. It shouldn't be. It's a
by
government thing.
zip code, so it's kind of like, hey, you live in a richer area, you can maybe help out, or there's not enough people feeding into the plan.
I know.
Yeah.
It's just, it's convoluted, and that's
And
why
it
you
changes
need these folks.
every year.
It does.
year.
And we also want to remind people, of course, this is the busy time of the year, but you are also eligible for Medicare in the middle of the year, let's say March, April, May,
Yes.
depending when you are eligible at
That's
that
correct.
age.
Right.
So you don't need to wait until this point of year, October, the enrollment period.
That's right.
Right.
If you hit that age, I forget what it is, but you're eligible. And again, we got Susan and Richard here to help you out. Their number's on the screen, 949-303-6783. Email is srwhite8686@gmail.com.
Perfect.
There's a lot to figure out, and let them help you, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Of course, that's what we're
Thank
here
you,
for.
Nan.
Thank
Good
you
to
very
see
much.
you.
Good to see you too.
Good to see you
Take
too.
care. Good
Thank
to see
you very
you.
much.
Take care. We'll be back. It's so confusing.